Hey, saludos y bienvenidos to the PGP podcast. Hey, everybody, Josh Tovad, proud principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garden ISD, Garland, USA, ready to rock and roll with you on today's happy show. You know, the happy show is all about who? About you right there. We have some awesome edgy stars. All our guests have been awesome stars. This show does not go off without a hitch with another great group of super educators that are around the country bringing PD to everybody. But before we get into that, thank you for giving us some of your time. I don't know if you're going to watch it live. I don't know if you're going to watch it on the replay on YouTube, whatever it is. But thank you. The only gift that we have in life that is of such a cherished quality is time, because it's all that we can do, but you're giving us some of that for us and for your PD, because this is free PD for you. And remember that iron sharpens iron. PGP Podcast is part of the Fantastic Four Network. Remember, on Super Saturday, we have Coach Sean Hurd at 10 o'clock, all Facebook times East Coast. Then after that, Tammy and Shika, 10:30. If you want to know about turning around the school, Tammy and Shika, that's the person that you call. And the anchor show on Super Saturday, El Jefe, who is in Las Vegas right now, Principal Cafele, right there. And the anchor for the whole Fantastic Four is the PGP Podcast on Sunday, 5 p.m. Central right now. So please do us a huge favor. What matters a lot is the algorithm. So please just press a star, press a heart, press a share. It only takes half a second. Press it and share it. That way we spread this free PD out there to everybody, and it picks up traction, because you know what? All our guests, all the subjects that we have are for you. So if you want to be part of this broadcast, whether you're in Maine, or you're in Florida, whether you're in Alaska or Hawaii or anywhere in the 48, we need you. Right now, we're looking for some assistant principals for our show in December. So if you're an AP and you want to be part of the show, reach out to me, reach out to this lady right here, DM. But I don't know if you could get a hold of her, because, ay, Dios mío, ¿dónde estás, Moreno? Where are you?
I'm in Guatemala. Yes, I'm in Guatemala. I'm so excited to be here, because you know why, Josh? It is graduation here in Guatemala. Their year ends in October. Well, the private, I'm just now learning, the private schools end in October. The government schools end in November. So on Monday, I'm actually going to go visit a government school. But that's where I'm at. It was so important for me to come. I was doing some work with Hope Academy in May of this year. And it's just so important to show the students that we love them, we care about them, and we invest in them, and we want them to succeed. So it was a big surprise that I showed up. And so, oh my God, the hugs, and, you know, you came back, and that's so important. And I want everybody out there, because this is the happy show, right? It's everything about the end. And so let me tell you, it's super excited to see the kids excited that they saw me come back. And I brought lots of gifts and lots of shoes for them to wear and have. And it's just been a wonderful time, Josh. I'm super excited to be here, very blessed and very fortunate. And as I told you, I have a couple of more shows with you, but then I am off again to Tanzania, where I'll be gone for another month. And I definitely need you to have another co-host, because pues no hay Wi-Fi ahí ni electricity. So at least here in Guatemala I have, but not in Tanzania, my friend.
Well, thank you very much for doing that gift, because you know what? As educators, remember, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And you made it a concerted effort to go from Houston all the way down to that country to reward them with, you know what, that love, that just being present. You know how many kids ask us, and you know what, that's going to take me into the chinchilagua moment. Chinchilagua, Tom is like, what is chinchilagua? How do you eat that with? Or Laura's like, Laura should know, Chip Baker for sure. He's like, chinchilagua, does that go with hot sauce, red or no? Chinchilagua is a Mexican game, all right? It's a Mexican game where you line up against a wall during those big fiesta times, and they're coming right now, and you yell, Chinchilagua y arriba voy, and everyone lines up and you jump on top of each other. Then another one, and then another one, and it's a human pyramid until it all comes crashing down, and your little cousin gets his head busted open, grandma comes down and hits everybody, the kid's crying, it's just total chaos. Well, the Chinchilagua moment today is this. Right now, the purpose of the happy show during this time and the other times is during that time of the school year where people, those nerves start getting raw. You know, everything that special kid that is always has perfect attendance but misbehaves a lot. He always has perfect attendance, but he behaves a lot. You know, he starts getting, and you know that colleague of yours that has that annoying tap during CLCs, or that, or they're doing their football plays during CLCs, and you're like, everyone's at each other's throat. All right. Remember, during this time, don't go at somebody else because we're in the people business. This is a time not to be a confrontational. This is a time to reconnect. So if you see a kid with something on their binder, a t-shirt, you see 6'7", 6'7", I don't care. Make 6'7" something positive, dude. Guys, 6'7", you're letting them get your goat. They want to press that button. Don't let them. Set in your lesson, make it, all right, class, it's coming, ready? What's 5 + 1? And everyone's going to yell. You see, you diffuse it. You diffuse it. And then you say, hey, thanks. You know, that kid that's always absent, that always misbehaves. Hey, that was my leader. I love the way that you did it. You turn it around. And then you bring, there's this guy that I know, he wrote a book about always being happy with the craft that you do. And he's always dressed like a pirate. He always talks about having enthusiasm. And that's the type of thing that you need to do, is have enthusiasm and love and passion to reconnect. So right now is not the time to be confrontational. The time is to reconnect. But think about January. How can you prevent this in the other time? March and April, during that state testing time, during all those assessment time where you don't have time to plan and you got to review, you got all that stuff. Prepare in January to avoid the confrontation in March and April, but always bring love and passion to what you do. Moreno, what do you think?
Josh, music to my ears. Yes, absolutely. Because, oh my goodness, I remember as a former principal, this was the time that we're constantly battling. And you know how many discipline referrals people just kind of, for any little thing, it's like, please pick and choose your battles. And that 6'7", as a presenter and doing, you know, different trainings with students. Let me tell you, I am in a workshop with the students. And the kids are saying, Miss, 6'7", 6. You know what? I'll say something, and then I'll say 6'7", and then they all bust out laughing, and then I'm able to move on. So you're absolutely right. As opposed to, you know, getting after them and saying, stop interrupting me. I'm trying to teach you a lesson. So yeah, I mean, folks out there, please. I want everybody to be happy. And that's why we have these shows. And being grumpy and just bitter just doesn't help the whole organization. So guys, we're going to have some really, really cool ideas and quick nuggets that we're going to provide everybody. So I'm super excited again to be here. And yes, Josh, thank you again for sharing those great ideas and those thoughts, because you're absolutely right. It's October. November is just what, next week? Yeah, se acabó el año.
And that's how we get started with the Happy Show. But don't forget, this is our 4th one. We've had 3 other Happy Shows. Check out episode 32, 43, and 56 so you can see the panel. Which panel? Well, there's this cat from Houston, Chip Baker, right there. And then Tom, he's in some airport somewhere in Ohio, I think. Laura, she's in Iowa from a pumpkin patch something. And I don't know, the Northwest. I don't know where that pirate guy is. He's somewhere out there. But you know what? This is what it's all about. Beautiful educators who educate the educators, bringing the joy and the love and the passion, not only to pedagogy, but to connection with kids. And I would like to thank the panel for being here today. Muchas gracias a todos. Stick, Moreno.
Oh my goodness. We have the crown jewels here. I am excited. All of you guys are just amazing. I know each of you from one way or another, but you guys collective bring the gems. And so I'm super excited to be here, but I know there's folks out there that have no idea who you are. And so before we kind of get started with any kind of questions or anything, it's important. It's important for us to let our audience know who are we, and to give it just a little brief background on the different roles you've served in education. And I want to know, they want to know, we all want to know which one was your favorite. And Laura, I'm going to start off with you.
Okay. I come into this as a past middle school teacher. So middle school science represent. I was there doing my thing, and apparently people love when you're doing innovative things. So caught the eye of our local area education agencies, and then turned consultant into a 21st century learning specialist. So got to do professional learning for educators all over the region, eventually moved to a statewide role doing authentic project work and working with businesses and schools, trying to get more authentic learning in the classroom. And now this is actually exciting to announce. This is my first year as an independent provider after 10 years of working in the area education agencies. So it's been a really exciting time in my life. But yeah, I love it. I love the work. I love the people. Let's go.
Which one's your favorite and why?
Gosh, I mean, right now what I'm doing is probably my favorite just because it's so new and I love a challenge. But gosh, I will always go back to the middle school classroom as my ultimate, because I think it's a great age. They're just so curious, but they're so I don't know. It's the best age ever. And so, and I think a lot of what I learned as a middle school teacher has helped me, because we're all kind of big kids when we come into professional development. And so I don't know, it's all people work to me, but yeah, the middle school is definitely good memories.
I love middle school. It's most people are scared of middle school actually, but it's my favorite. I love it because they're just so quirky.
Oh yeah.
How about you, Tom? Tell me a little bit about your roles in education. And wait, before we do that, Laura, where are you calling in from so people will know?
Oh, I'm in Iowa, Northeast Iowa.
Iowa. Okay, got it. All right, Tom, we'll go with
All right.
you.
Awesome. What's up, everybody? Thanks for having me. I am a New Yorker living in Pennsylvania, currently at the Cleveland airport. So if you hear any really awful background music, that is not my playlist. It's going to be my first set here. So for me, I started as an elementary teacher, and then I taught secondary, and then I was a secondary principal. Then I was an elementary principal. I went over to a district office. I obviously couldn't keep a job, so now I work out of Washington, D.C. Makes total sense, right? I got recruited to go to D.C. about 10 years ago. Shortly after going there, I kicked off Future Ready Schools alongside President Obama about 10 years ago, and have worked nationally, helping to lead that with my team. Future Ready Schools is part of All for Ed, which is a nonprofit out of Washington, D.C., an equity-focused nonprofit, really working to support schools and districts and leaders all across the country. It's awesome because we don't charge for the things that we do. We raise money to do the work that we do all across the nation, which I absolutely love. And so that's my day job. And then have the opportunity to write and publish and then speak a good amount of events every year. And so that's what I'll be doing this week and why I'm on the road. And so I get to mix both of those, which is great. Awesome to be here. And thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you. And we forgive you with the music because we definitely understand being at the airport. And so thank you again for taking time today. Dave, how about you? We'll flip over to the other side.
Hey, yeah, so I'm coming to you from Vancouver, Washington, which is right above Portland, Oregon, right across the river from Portland, Oregon. And so I'm here in the Pacific Northwest. I was a basketball coach turned teacher, turned professional development speaker, author. I wrote a little book about pirates. And then now I am president of Daybirders Consulting, published over 200 books, have an imprint called Impress, of which Tom is on, his personal authentic book. I'm a part of publishing that, and lots of other great books from innovative educators. And so that's currently what I'm most excited about. My favorite role is amplifying the voices of other people. So I love finding people out there doing powerful things and helping them spread their message.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing more about your wonderful adventures and everything you do, because you're such an amazing, and the book is amazing. I'm sure you're going to talk about it as well. So Teach Like a Pirate. Let's go to Chip.
Hello,
to us,
guys.
Chip, where are you calling in from? My friend,
go.
I love your voice. Let me tell you. Look at his
Oh,
voice.
shucks. No, I'm calling in from Conroe, Texas, which is north of Houston. Truly grateful for the opportunity to be here with you guys, with amazing people that I strive to learn from on a day-to-day basis. And so really pumped to have this opportunity. But a little bit about my journey. I'm a fourth generation educator in my 27th year of education. Teacher, coach. I started in junior high, did that for a few years. So I had enough of that. Then I went to high school where I coached and taught, was a head football coach, athletic director, assistant principal, blessed and fortunate to be in big school, small school, see lots of different things. That's been great for me. I currently am still in education where I'm an in-class support special education teacher. But what I also do is I speak, I travel. My mission is to take care of people that take care of people. And so I do that by, speaking. I have books. I've written 27 books. I have a series that Impact of Influence was the first series that I did. I bring people together. We just share positive stories of people that have influenced and impacted us. And then my most recent series that I just started, we're about to put out volume 2 soon, is The Path for Coaches. And so just striving to provide some positive inspiration and motivation and do my part to make the world a better place. Go get
Chip,
it.
and I can hear you talk all day long. It's just so it's gonna be a great
Let's go.
show. It's gonna be a great show. Guys, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your background. I think it's important for all of our audience to hear and understand and know what your background is as we talk about all of the great things that you guys are doing so that we can, again, provide this happy show for everybody and provide those great inspirational stories so that we can remember those as we move through a very, very busy time, November, December. So Josh.
All right. Big shout out to Dodd McKeever Cheever, our #1 cheerleader for the Fantastic Four shows. Like always, calling everybody to come and see Constance Sherrard from Missouri. Melissa Jones, Chunu, Doctora, just got that PhD from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thank you for being here today. My brother, mi carnal, Sean Hurd, another member of the Fantastic Four here in the house. Thank you very much for being there. All right. Let's tell our educators, Tom. Let's tell them out there. We're going to start off with you. 2-part question right here, senor. Number 1, how were you as a high school student? And number 2, how was your first year in the classroom? Don't fake the funk, sir. Don't fake the funk.
So did you say as a high school senior or my senior year in high school? Because that might be 2 different answers.
Oh, that's true. Hey, your senior year. Clarification. Senior year, sir.
Yeah, no. So I did pretty well in high school. I enjoyed it. I was a pretty compliant kid overall, but I will say way into sports my senior year was really like, that's all I wanted to do with that, but did really, really well. So I played school well. And I think that's part of the reason that I thought I wanted to be an educator, because I enjoyed it. I had a pretty good experience. I had really pretty good teachers. And, but I'll say it really created an environment for me where I was comfortable. And so I actually left my high school to go be pre-med, thought that's what I wanted to do, loved it. And then decided, you know what, I want to work with kids every day. And so I think having a great experience personally for me was pretty awesome. And then that second question, my first year teaching, if you've read Personal and Authentic, you know about my first year teaching, and I'll say it was hard. It was absolutely hard. There was major life things that happened with a student in the classroom, with my mentor, and things that I wanted to give up. And so, you know, one of the things that I love, Josh, about this show is the need for hope. And I will tell you, if you know part of my story and why I share what I do and some of the things I speak on, really around empathy and joy and hope and the need to be authentic and all those pieces, I'll say my first year teaching changed my life. And if I didn't have people around me, a mentor and a principal that loved and cared about me and incredible teachers, I would have given up, because I had every reason in the world to give up during that first year. But I didn't, because of amazing people that wrapped their arms around me, literally drug me to the finish line that first year. There were certainly some great things that happened that first year, but it was life-changing for me. And it really brought me down to really focusing on not just what we teach, but who we teach. And it forever changed my viewpoint on why we do what we do.
So exactly. I love it right there. Hey, shout out to another family member, Central Hicks, out here from the Lone Star State. Thank you for being here today. Laura. So how you were as a senior, as a high school student, but how was your first year, ma'am?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, glad I went second because I could think about this. High school was a blast for me. I was the funny kid. I there's a lot of stories there. I'm like, what should I spill the beans on? I did get class clown in the yearbook. I was, my dad was a principal. So I feel like I got to push lines and barriers a little bit, flex a little bit. No, I don't know. I think that same with Tom. Like I played school pretty well. Definitely one of those eye-awakening things in college when you realize I don't think I really know what I know. Like I'm not as smart as I thought I was going to be. So really getting in there and like learning is the best way to learn. Like Tom said, the authentic part really resonates with me because we don't really know until we're in it, and giving yourself that permission of like, it's okay if you don't know it yet, like that fail forward mindset. And so absolutely first year of teaching is that fail forward mindset. It is literally iterations in practice, seeing what works, push this button and see what happens. Don't push that one again. That went poorly. And, I had a lot of fun that first year though. Just thinking about even like now with Halloween, like all the door decorating and middle school and, going back to that place was a really good time. Definitely it changes in your life that happened during that time. I know I went through some stuff too, and learning how to balance that while still coming and being that person that people depend on. So I think that was really a good part of like my learning in that first year. But yeah, no, all good things.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that and being so honest. That's what the show's about not faking the funk, like Principal Cancela says, or your nose will grow. Chip Baker, ¿qué pasó? Dime, Chip Baker.
Hey. So I think for me, in high school, it was amazing. I grew up in a small town in Texas. Hearn, Texas is where I'm from, close to College Station, Texas A&M. People don't know Hearn, but they know A&M. So I grew up about 30 minutes from Texas A&M College Station. And like I said earlier, I'm a fourth generation educator. So my mom, single parent mom, she had some high expectations. Like my mama didn't play. Right. And so like I was going to be on point. If I was going to do something, I was going to do it right. And she was going to make sure it was done right. And I did it right too. But it was great for me, well-rounded, played 4 sports for 4 years in high school. It was demanded to have great grades, and just tried to show love and help others. Was a part of lots of groups. And so high school was amazing for me. Right. And so my first year, I had a great opportunity. My first year to teach, I had a great opportunity coming out of college to create this pilot mentor program that they were doing at this junior high. And it was awesome because the principal gave me an opportunity where I know that there were probably more qualified people out there than me, or people that had more experience than me. But I got a great reference from a guy that he knew from my hometown that thought highly of me. So he gave me an opportunity. And so because of that, I wanted to make sure that I gave those people way more than they were expecting to get from me. Right. And so I gave my all to it. It was great to be in there. I was the bridge between behavior class and putting kids back into regular out classes. I had a walkie-talkie. So, I mean, just helping kids every day was amazing. But of course, like we know, that first year it was exhausting, right? Because it's all new. It's all coming at you fast. You're just trying to figure it out, right? And so it was exhausting, but super rewarding. And I had this one teacher mentor say to me, "Hey man, just stay one day ahead. You'll be all right. Okay. Just keep taking positive steps each day. Just stay one day ahead. Go to bed early every day, but just stay ahead one day and keep taking positive steps." And so those relationships that I built then are still benefiting me now in my life, because now those kids have kids, and I've actually coached a couple of their kids. Right. So it's been a neat journey. So that's what it's been for me.
Thank you for sharing that. Edwin Garcia, Dr. Edwin Garcia from New Jersey. Thank you for sharing your story about it and being in high school. And Chip, like we said before the show, everything's an interview. So what you do, people will talk about you down the road. So, hey, assistant coach, you want to be the head coach?
No doubt.
Everything's an interview. Remember that. Hey,
Yes.
assistant principal. Everything's an interview. Don't forget that. Dave Burgess. Don't fake the funk. Talk to us.
Yeah, so you know what? I was a world-class hoop jumper in school. And I knew how to play the game. I knew exactly what I needed to do to get my grades, but didn't do a whole lot more than that. Wasn't too excited about school. Didn't really see the relevance of it to me. And so I was kind of disengaged, but I definitely knew how to jump the hoops, right? And so when I became a teacher, that was one thing that I was focused on, is that like, I am not going to have school be a place where kids don't love being. I want it to be a joyful experience. I want them to be able to make connections and see the relevance of what they're doing. And it's not that I had bad teachers, but I just wasn't excited about school. And so, yeah, my first year teaching, I was teaching all new content. I was a psychology major. I was not a social studies, history major, anything like that. So I was a psychology major. I was a basketball coach, got a job in the social studies department. And I was basically going home each night and learning the content the day before the students. And then trying to craft a lesson around it and trying to make it engaging. And so like I was like performing on the high wire with no net, right? And so a lot of these things that I learned were from, it was survival. Like I was going to learn how to engage a class of kids. I was teaching them a tough group of kids. I was going to learn how to engage a class of kids, or I was going to burn out and leave the profession. And so a lot of this stuff was just the kind of stuff that you learn when you're dangling over the edge and you got to come up with something right now, or this class is going to be a disaster. And so that was my first year.
Thank you for sharing that. And like always, we tell, and I told the panel, the purpose of this show is, since there's such a huge exodus of educators, my generation is already retiring. Our 30 plus people, we're already leaving. So, and there's a lot of people moving up quick. And we have a lot of alt-cert educators. That's the purpose of the PGP podcast, because we bring in the experts, a bus driver, a cafeteria worker, an assistant principal. We've had everybody here because we know that a lot of those positions are brand new. And we're letting you know, again, these EduStars that are national speakers, authors, they all walked in the same classroom as you did. And we're here to tell you in Iowa, you in Minnesota, you in Wyoming, we're in the same game. And it's a beautiful game. They all told you about their first year. We're not alone. And it's a beautiful profession. So remember what we do every single day. We're all builders and we change lives. Moreno, stick.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited because we are going to get to the meat of our show, you guys. I'm going to start off with Dave, because I know you have some stories to tell, my friend. So let's talk about teachers for a second. Okay. So tell the audience a story about about your current work and how you've helped change the trajectory of an educator or a leader that you've kind of inspired. And then what did they tell you?
Yeah, you know what? So I'm gonna tell a story that I just spoke about on my podcast. I just did a joint podcast with George Couros on the Innovators Mindset podcast, Dave Burgess Show podcast, and he said that us meeting was a trajectory changer in his life, and it was in my life too. And so we were both doing a keynote. We were keynote speakers at a conference in Tennessee.
Okay.
And I cornered him when he got off the stage, and there's a picture of the two. Someone from the audience took a picture. I have that picture of me in my pirate outfit. So you see George like staring at me with his head cocked, like I'm not so sure about this guy. And I'm in full pitch mode, telling him like, hey, like you got like, you should write a book. Oh, you're writing a book. You have a contract offer. Don't sign that contract until you send that book to me. And I pitched George Couros to not sign the contract that it was sitting in front of him and to send the book to me first. He sent the book to me. We told him that we absolutely loved it. We loved everything about it. The other publishing company was trying to get him to change things, make it more third person, formal, academic, ed tech oriented. And we're like, no. We love how you write. We love how personal these stories are. And we signed George, published The Innovator's Mindset, which has been one of our best-selling books, one of our most impactful books. And so sometimes like these connections that we make can be life changers. And it was for that moment turned out to be a young publishing company to publish a guy like George gave us a lot of credibility in the education space and was kind of a game changer in the trajectory of our business. And hopefully George thinks that book signing with us and being able to publish it just the way that he wanted to publish it in his voice was a game changer for him as well. So there's my story.
That is awesome. And you know what? I love the fact that you allowed him to be himself. Like someone else was trying to make him a different person, and you saw the value that he had to offer. So congrats. And just like we just mentioned earlier, you're always in an interview. You never know when you're talking to somebody what that person can provide you and help. So educators out there, you know, if you ever want to like do something else or move up in the ladder, it's everything that you showcase, right? It's everything that you're doing, and it's the value that you put into your work and it's your actions, right? So thank you so much. I love that story, Dave. Thank you so much for sharing. Chip, how about you? What trajectory or whose life did you change, sir?
I'm trying to change lots of lives. So I hope
Just one story. I just want one because I know you have many stories.
Yeah, I think for me, I think one thing that has been super impactful for me is having kids or adults see me in places and they'll quote something from one of my books, right? Or something like that I've done. They'll say like, man, I really enjoyed that. You know, to myself, I'm just thinking like, man, that's crazy, right? Because like where I'm from, like I didn't grow up around people that wrote books, right? Where I'm from, like we didn't do those things, right? Like I don't know, like so this is all like just so neat to me, just to be blessed and fortunate to have the experiences. And so when people do those things, I had a kid. I was in Walmart, and this kid walked up to me, and like he taps me on my arm, right? And I look down at him. He's like, "Hey, are you Chip Baker, the author of because I have a kid's book of The Path?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." like, yeah, I am. And he's like, "I have your book." And then his mom comes up and like, "Man, he reads that book every day. He reads that kid's book every day." And so I was like, "Man, this is really cool right here." I was like, "Man, you mind taking a picture?" I'm asking to take a picture with him because I'm blown away, right? And so that was really neat. But then another thing I wanted to mention too is like, you know, as I heard Dave talk about his experience and like the whole collaboration piece. So I'm sitting on this amazing call with some great people, right? But even further than that, they've done some great things, but they are intentional about helping others and going above and beyond. And so like everyone on this show, I've interviewed on my podcast, we've had great experiences, right? And so like that piece for me is what's really neat. And then like Dave, you know, when he came, like we went a barbecue, you know, and like Tom, like he'll repost like the interview clip. And so I'm like, man, this is so cool. So I think the beauty of the education atmosphere where we are is just so much room for collaboration and growth.
Yes.
and difference making.
Absolutely, Chip. Thank you so much for sharing and for showcasing that, because that is important. And being the happy show, you know, we have to continue to collaborate and be around positive people too, right? We have to make sure that we're feeding our own soul. So absolutely. Thank you so much, Chip, for sharing. How about you, Laura? Talk to us about a story that you can share about changing the trajectory of a teacher.
Yeah, this is a great question. I have this like big like hashtag change agent thing going on where I just want to work with people that want to do good work. And going back even to the classroom, thinking about who changed my trajectory was a teacher. And they played a video it was a Sir Ken Robinson, Changing Educational Paradigms. And that just really like struck me. And I was like, that's me. I want to be that teacher that causes that ripple effect. The idea that you can step into your greatest human potential. And oftentimes we don't know what we're good at because people don't reflect it back to us. And so, working with kids and trying to find their strengths. So building that asset economy, not a deficit one. Like, hey, you're really good at that. Some concrete, like, just as my mind is like, where's my mind going right now? An example, a kid that I remember at middle school loved, poetry and drawing and doing all these things. And like, she ended up doing tattoo designs, and I actually have one of her designs. So like at that age, not knowing what you're going to do when you grow up, like see someone saying, hey, that could be a thing. You could make money doing that. Like find your icky guy or whatever, like find your purpose. And if you can make money, that's even better. And so that was one that happened. And I think now, like with that, like living and breathing that mantra of like every human being you come across has something special to contribute. Like, what is it? And speaking about that, I've had numerous people back channel me, come up to me after and just say, that really inspired me. You wrote a book. Like, how can I write a book? Like because I tell them, if you have a story to tell it. Like, do it. Why not? Like, why not you? Why not now? And so I think, I know in little ways, I hope that I'm like getting people to see themselves and then take ownership and like step into their greatest human potential. But yeah, it's a feel good feeling when people send you a little note, like saying, hey, what you said really resonated with me. And now I'm going to go pursue that thing. So
Absolutely.
Hashtag change agents.
Love it. So thank you so much for sharing, Laura. Tom, how about you? A change, a trajectory and change in either a teacher or a campus leader?
Yeah, so I struggle to answer this question, and here's why. Years ago, I swore that I will never and this is a podcast, it's different, but I will never stand on a stage ever and tell people how well I did something. I'll tell them how I screwed it up. And to me, that humility is super important. So I'm really struggling to answer this question, to be honest. But I'll answer it in this sense. I'm thinking about an email that I received 3 years ago. And here's my point with this. Sometimes the difference that we make takes forever and we don't even realize it. I open up the email and it was like, Mr. Murray, you may not remember me. And of course, anytime you get that email, you're like, of course I do. And I can tell you exactly who you are and exactly who your parents were and all those things. And I get this incredible email that shared about she became a teacher and got her certification yesterday. And the reason she wanted to teach was she thought about my 4th grade classroom, how much fun we always had, but I was there when she needed me the most. And I will never forget that moment. And so that's an example, I think, of a student being able to look at it, the teacher end of she became a teacher and was motivated. And those were her words. And so, when I look at those moments, as teachers, as leaders, sometimes it takes years. I received that. It was, I think about 14, 15 years later, somewhere in there. And looking back to that many years prior, which was pretty awesome and pretty exciting. And so I'll use that as an example.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that's a great example because sometimes teachers don't necessarily see what happens or how we're impacting kids in our classrooms until later in life. And then they're going to say, you know what? I remember Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so. And that's where the happy show comes to play because it's important for us to remind everybody that, guys, it takes a little bit. It takes a little while for the kids to finally see when they grow up. They remember you. They really do remember you. So thank you so much, Tom, because that's a perfect example of what we're talking about. Oh, guys, before we move on, like and share. Please like and share. I'm in Guatemala right now. So guess what? When I share in Guatemala, it's going to go in Guatemala circuits here. So I'm excited that we're already international on this call. And so I'm excited. So I'm going to do like and share here in Guatemala. Please like and share in your state where you're located. It doesn't take a lot of time. Just like and share. Put the little heart, click it, and share it because these folks right here have some awesome stories, and we need to feed our soul.
All right. Saludos a Profe Laws. Thank you for being here, part of the Fantastic Four family. Felipe Torres. Gracias, amigo, from Plano, Texas. Thank you for being here. Constance Sherrard. Nice seeing you again. Thank you, everybody. Andrea Bittner, past guest at Memorial and the PGP podcast. Thank you for being here. And now, and you know what? I get you, Tom. You know, us Gen Xers, we don't like doing that kind of stuff. I got you. But you know what? Our generation is leaving. The younger generation likes to hear the why and the reason. They need those examples. Their mentality, the millennials, the Zs, they want to hear the purpose for the reason why. Us Gen Xers, get over it. You drank water, you drank hot water from the hose. Get over it, dude. You know, but that's not the current people that I'm hiring. The current 20-somethings, totally different than Josh. Totally different. And so they have a different mentality, and they like to hear the beautiful thing that is our profession, the beautiful connections that we make with kids, and the beautiful smiles that we bring every single last day. So that's why it takes me into this next one, Dave. It takes me into this next one in regards to, now let's go to our beautiful product as we create and we're builders of this beautiful melting pot, this beautiful country that gave this immigrant so much thanks to a good education. So Dave, tell the audience, please, tell the audience and there's 10 billion. So just pick one from the 10 billion. Pick one beautiful connection you made with a student that kid said, Mr. Burgess, Dios mío, let me walk on fire for you, brother. Let me walk on some lava, some bricks. What was the situation?
Yeah, so there are about 10 billion of these, right? But I think that a lot of it comes down to really taking the time. I want to know everything I can about my students. I want to know what television shows they watch. I want to know what music they listen to. I want to know what movie they're excited about that's coming out this coming weekend. I want to know what their extracurricular activities are. I want to know what sports teams they follow. I want to know every single thing that I can about a kid, because that's all areas and things that I can connect with them on, build rapport with them, build relationships, and also tie my curriculum to, right? So if I know everything about all these kids, and for me, it starts on day one. First day of school, we're not doing any curriculum. We're not doing any content. It's all about them and about learning about them and learning about what they're into, what makes them tick. And then and it's the first several days actually. And then some people think that's wasted time. That's invested time. That's time that's going to pay dividends over and over again over the course of the year. We're going to be more efficient. We're going to get more done in the long run because we invested time in creating and making relationships and building rapport at the start of the year. And so just a very simple example, I can remember a kid that was nothing but a living nightmare for every single one of his teachers, including me. He was trouble. He was constantly disrupting class. Come to find out, someone told me this kid was unbelievably into fishing. I would never expected it, but in the weekends, he would travel even and go to like fishing competitions and things like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, this might be my in. And I started to learn a little bit more about what he was into, what kind of fishing he was doing, and like the next time he came to school on a Monday, I'm like, hey, what happened in the fishing competition? I heard you were fishing this weekend. Like, what went down? And he's like, looked at me like I was from outer space, that I knew this, but I'd gotten a tip from somebody, right? And then the rest of the year, talked to that kid about fishing every single week. And that kid was not a problem in my class. That kid started doing work in my class. That kid started showing up on a consistent basis in my class. It was all about just seeing him for who he was and validating who he was as a human being and what he was into, and understanding that, hey, he might not be into the Spanish-American War, but that kid's into fishing. And if I want him to listen to what I have to say about the Spanish-American War, I need to show some interest in what he's into too. And so that would be my example.
How dare he not care about the USS Maine, sir? How dare he not care about that? Teddy Roosevelt? Come on, man.
Dewey's Navy? Come on, what's happening? Like,
what's going on here? But I agree with you. I tell our team members the first week of school, all you're doing is connecting. I don't want to see any teaks, no pedagogy, nothing, baby. As it is, schedules are being changed. Yes. You got kids going in and out. People are still enrolling. Spend the first week, connect with the kids, because it's going to help you right now. In November, this is the time it's going to help you if you make the right connection with them. Chip, 10 billion stories. I don't care about 10 billion. Dame una no más.
See. No, so I have one that I'll share. So where I lived and taught and coached, and most of my career was about an hour hour and a half from my hometown, hour and 40 minutes or so. So I had the opportunity to take some speakers, amazing people to my hometown to do a panel for the kids at the high school there. So, really exciting to put on this event. And so, kind of like Dave was saying, you want to take care of kids, you want to get to know kids. So I walk in this cafeteria, there's kids sitting in the cafeteria, and there's one kid in the back sitting by himself. So, as a teacher, that comes with, so I'm going straight to him, right? And so I'm like, hey man, how you doing? I put my hand out to shake his hand. He looks at me. I don't shake hands. Right. And I was like, okay, well, how about a fist bump? He's looking at me. Right. Like, all right then. Right. So, we do the event, we go on. Fast forward that spring, I get hired, or that summer I get hired as the athletic director in my hometown. Right. So I go back to the school, first day of school, same cafeteria. I walk in this cafeteria, the kids are sitting talking that morning, and there's one kid in the back sitting by himself, right? And so I walk back to the kid. I was like, hey man, how you doing this morning? I go to shake his hand, and he looks at me, he says, I don't shake hands, right? So I'm like, okay, how about a fist bump, right? And he's looking at me. And so I'm like, man, that's crazy. And so as I'm walking, I'm reminded, I was like, wait a minute, that's the same kid from last year, right? And so it was my mission to get that kid to shake my hand or fist bump me and talk to me. So that was my personal goal, right? Because like I want to get to know you, because it's something behind that, right? Mm-hmm. There's a purpose and a reason for every behavior. And as teachers, as educators, it's our job to figure out what that is, so that we meet the kids where they are and we build them up and get them where they need to be. So it was my mission to reach that kid. I was going to do that. And so every day, I just kind of played it. I just saw where he would go and, give him a head nod or, all right, I see you, those things. And finally, about week 2, he kind of got where in the cafeteria in the morning, he'd give me a head nod back. Right. And so fast forward, eventually about a month or so, he was giving me a fist bump, and we started, talking and, all of those things. And so fast forward from there, man, that kid, I learned so much about him, his life. He was quiet because people, didn't really give him opportunities, had some family things, all of those things. Of course, there's things behind it, right? But that kid ended up trusting me. And if something happened or he got in trouble, he only wanted to talk to me. He didn't talk to anybody on campus, right? Built that trust. And man, that kid ended up like finding out where I park, and he started meeting me in the morning at my car and would help me bring he's a coach, administrator, you got bags, right? Backpack, bags, lunch, you got all of these water jugs, you got all this stuff that you're carrying in. Can't even hardly open the door, right? The keys drop, like got to put everything. But he would meet me and help me bring my stuff in every day for his senior year, like, once we connected. And so that story is one that I love to tell, because it shows the importance of us giving the extra effort and going the extra mile to help reach kids and take care of kids. And so that's the story that I would like to share.
I love it. Me fascina mucho, Tom. One, not 10 billion.
Yeah, I love this question, because I could talk kid after kid after kid. So
Man.
I'm thinking about my boy Anthony. So I'm going back to when I was teaching elementary school, and Anthony had a very, very significant hearing need. And so I would wear a device that would go directly to both of his ears. And I promised myself from that very first day, because I knew he struggled a little bit socially. He struggled with some friends. He had some other needs going on, that I was going to do everything I can to love on this kid so hard that he wants to be coming to school every day, that he enjoys coming to school every day. And so being that I had a device that would amplify, we started having some real fun in the classroom where I would whisper some things that he could hear really clearly that nobody else could. And so occasionally I'd say something, I'd whisper something, and he'd kind of give me the look, give me a big smile, give me a head nod, and put it down. And took something that was something that I knew he was struggling with personally, but made the personal connection related to it, that he would say, Mr. Murray, it's pretty clear that it's pretty cool that you can tell me things that other people don't hear. And to him, it was the biggest deal in the world. And so finding a way to love on a kid, to use what was a personal struggle for them to their advantage so that they felt even that much more loved and cared on, was something I will never forget, because that boy taught me just as much about life as I hopefully was able to teach him in the year that I had him.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that story. And that's a foundation. Elementary, boom, that's a strong building later on. Laurita, vámonos.
Josh, can I add one other thing?
Yeah.
I will throw out the time that I went into the bathroom at recess and forgot to shut it off as one of my funniest moments in education. Fortunately, I just used the urinal. But when my boy rolled back in, gave me the little wink, it was like, Mr. Murray, don't forget to shut it off at recess. That was one of my favorite moments ever, because I laugh about that all these years later.
There you go. There you go. Laura.
Oh man, this is a hard one, because all these stories come to mind and that are special that you still carry even now, like from teaching. I'll just go with the one that came to mind first was, so I was, in middle school, and you have kids come to the classroom with all sorts of barriers and challenges, even before they get to us. And so I remember this one year I had the hardest 7th grade group that they told me, and they all happened to be in my science class. And so they gave me a co-teacher, even because it was like you're gonna need this. And I had a paraeducator, I had a co-teacher, and they were right. Like, these kids were challenging, and there were brothers that I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give out any identities or anything. But it was a thing, and it was difficult. And I knew that it was derailing learning for others, but I knew that these kids needed a caring adult, like hands down, they just needed a caring adult. And so I still think I'm like this, but like, we can change school. We can help change trajectories. And no matter what, like, I don't care. I'm going to keep trying, even if it doesn't pan out. Like, someone's got to try. And so me and another gal, we were actually like newer. We were like, we had the energy, right? And we were like, let's make like an after school program, all about like exploring, businesses and doing things and having fun, like just have fun. So we made this group called the Active Explorers, and those kids came, they showed up, and they came to all that. They went bowling, and we did archery, which was really hard and cool. We did all the things like in this community. And I was newer to the community, so it was like really fun for me too. Like, hey, let's all go try this. And so these are the kinds of opportunities that I think like a lot of these kids don't get. And so how, my method to the madness was like, well, if we keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, like that's insanity. And so we have to do something different. And so from everything I've learned and like thinking about opportunities and a caring adult, I was like, this is it. And so they behaved so much better after like building that relationship with me, and like, me being vulnerable about my life in those spaces, like as we're bowling and things like that. I think when we're vulnerable, it lets others be able to be vulnerable too, let their sort of guard and shield down. And so I think these kids needed that. They needed to see someone care about them and show up in a different kind of way. And so that one was really meaningful to me. And I wish we could do more. I know money and time and people, like it's a challenge, but gosh, if we could invest in that, it pays dividends. So.
And to the audience out there, you're seeing this live, you're seeing this in the rebroadcast, and you've got that one team member that's probably like in year 6 and they're already tapping out. These are the type of stories you need to hear. It all does iron out. Trust me, it does work itself out. People face hard times. Kids also, it doesn't matter. No matter the 80s, the 90s, the 0s, the 10s, there's always obstacles. But that's why the Lord placed you in that position. I believe that we're placed in positions for a reason. We're placed in campuses for a reason. We find people to publish their books for a reason, because there's a voice that's being placed upon you to ensure that you connect with that kid, that elementary kid, that high school kid, whoever that is, that will not fist bump you because of what they're carrying baggage. And these are the type of stories that the Happy Show is all about. Stick.
Yeah. Guys, I'm so excited again just to hear these stories. And I think the people out in the audience are actually like, I mean, Andrea is saying incredible stories, because she's absolutely right. I love the stories. And Chip, we're gonna continue with your wonderful voice. And this time we're gonna talk a little bit about, have you ever been positively blindsided by either a former student, it could be a team member or a colleague, who told you that you helped them out in their career or life? So I know we've been talking about stories from different, kids and teachers. So if you want to pivot and do a colleague, then that's fine too. But would you actually change their life in a positive way, and then just drive that interaction?
Yeah, I just I think in everything I do, I strive to add value. All right. I know what it feels like to have someone to pour into you and just love you and strive to show you the way. And so because I've been blessed to have that in my life, I strive to give that every day. I want to show up, have a great attitude, and give my all every day. Anything less than that is unacceptable for me, right? Because I think the people that I'm around, the kids, like, they deserve that. And so lots of times when you do that, you don't realize that, like, people around you see those things, right? And so, I've had a coworker just tell me, I appreciate the fact that you bring energy every day and you have a smile on your face, right? Because, like, a smile goes a long way, right? It doesn't take a lot of effort to do that, right? Like regardless of what we're going through or growing through in our life, if you will, right? Because we all have things on our plate that we're dealing with. Like, I don't care who you are, you can show up and smile, right? And so I think that made a difference to me, and it was encouraging to me just to continue to do that.
Awesome. And we want to be around positive people at work. That's just so important. I can't imagine going to work and the first thing someone says to me is, "Oh, again, it's only Wednesday." It's like, oh my goodness. It's like, go away from me, because it's terrible, right? I want to be around positive people. So Chip, absolutely, that smile goes a long way sometimes. So awesome. Dave, how about you? What positive, have you ever been positively blindsided by either a former student, a team member, or a colleague, and how you helped them change their life, career path?
Yeah, so I just pulled this up from Instagram because it just happened to me about 2 weeks ago. I have a ex-student who follows me on Instagram. I follow her, and actually she's married to one of my ex-students too. So it's two of my students who ended up getting married, and they're out traveling. They were in Boston, and the reason that she was in Boston at this like fancy event is she was hired to do hair there, and she travels around and does hair and things like that at weddings and festivals and did all sorts of things. So she's getting to travel all over the place to do this work. And I was telling her like how amazing it was. She's running her own business doing this. And I pulled up this text, and honestly, it made me cry. But I have to be a tough guy, so I won't say that, but it did. Pirates cry. I know you don't believe it.
Do.
Pirates cry. We get seasick too.
There you go.
Because we have feelings.
Yes.
We all have feelings.
And this was exactly what she said she said, "I'll never not tell people how much you changed my life. I lived the exact life I wanted to because you said I could." And now, like, I don't remember that connect. I don't remember exactly what I said or how that went down, right? But just the process, somehow through the process of being in my class and telling them that they could be anything they wanted to be, like, some of them are listening. We don't think they're listening, but some of them, when we say these things, they're listening. And it could be a game changer. And all these years later, I haven't been in the classroom for a long time. So this is a long time ago. All these years later, she sent me that message, and it's like, all of a sudden I'm crying.
And you have every reason.
Yeah, you never know the impact that you have. Sometimes I would never have known that if she hadn't sent me that message all these years later. So, but there's if you're a teacher, you have people all over the world that have been impacted by your work.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they don't tell you, but trust me, you had a huge impact on them.
Yes, absolutely. And if you're a teacher, or if you want to just send something out with social media, it's so easy to connect with people now, right? With LinkedIn, you can find anybody on LinkedIn, right? Just send somebody some flowers and say, you know what, you changed my life. It goes a long way. I learned that from Josh. Josh tells me, we have to remind people who kind of put you in the places that you are today. And so, again, it's just, and I can't tell you how many times just that little text is like, oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for sharing. But yeah, Dave, thank you so much for sharing that. And it's okay to cry, sir. It's okay, because you know what? We all have feelings, but it's so powerful to hear that years later.
I can't believe I said that in front of Tom Murray. Now he's going to be talking about me. So.
It's okay. This is a safe space. Laura, how about you? What story do you have? I'm sure you have plenty.
Cece. Well, I feel like there's these like micro moments, whether like you're putting yourself out there and that resonates with someone and it can change their trajectory. I can't guarantee all the, like how grand the things, what ripple effect I've created, but, for the past since 2021, after my stepdad passed away, I started writing these like good mornings, about just like human disposition and like what we go through in our day to day. And I figure if I'm feeling this way, I bet other people are feeling this way too. And so every morning I put out a good morning post. It's not very long, but it always catches me off guard when I get someone who sends me a message, like a really sincere one, not like a bot, but like a sincere one that's like, Laura, I love these. I send these to my son at college, and I think they're really helpful. And I'll every now and again I'll get one like that. Oh, a kitty cat. Sorry, distracted. Oh, and it's black. Cross their paths. Is that bad luck? I'll go get my orange cat. Then we'll have Halloween kitties. Sorry. But yes, when I put those out there, I'm trying to I'm trying to put a piece of my heart out there. And in my mind, I hope my daughter reads them someday, or something ever happens to me, they're like, it's there for her. But like when people say that I really needed that today, that is why I do it. And that is why I keep showing up is for that reason. And if we can, we're all in it together. We're all in the trenches together, this thing called life. And we're here right now with these people, like, why not make the best of it and help each other along the way? So that's probably mine.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. And it fits right in with the happy show, right? Because it's always about kind of inspiring others and telling others how they felt, because we sometimes forget. And this is a time we start forgetting. So we need to remind ourselves. Let's see, Tom, I know you said you just can talk about kids all the time. So, you can talk about a kid, or you can talk about a colleague. You can talk about, anybody who was positively blindsided you.
Sure. I'll talk about one I got a month ago through a message on Facebook. And I don't use Facebook all that often, but I saw it pop up in the name and I was like, Liz. And I said, no. Now, Liz, when I was a middle school principal, was the student that was on the 34th day of school in my office for the 35th time, right? Not for the best reasons, right? She was the kind of student that every adult in the building knew, and not for the best reasons. And I see a message pop up on Messenger, and I was like, wait, what really? And again, this is going back probably 15 years, somewhere in that range, right? And so I pulled it up here, and the first part says, Mr. Murray, before, by the way, I said, you probably don't remember me. That wasn't this intro. This was, I'm guessing you remember me, which made me kind of laugh, right? Because we spent a lot of time together when you were my principal, ... Ha ha. But I'm so glad I found you. And like Dave, trying not to get emotional here, because I really wanted to say thank you. Because, and her words were, I really wanted to say thank you because, in quotes, you never, ever, ever gave up on me. And part of the reason I just like Dave, get emotional here because this work is so real, is because I would tell her, and I like anytime kids were in my office, her in particular, because she was there a lot. Every time I ever had to suspend her, I had to everything. Every time I would end with, I will never, ever, ever give up on you. And it was something that she would, even towards the, like, because we spent multiple years together, would look at me and she'd be like, I know you're not going to give up on me. And I would say, I won't. I won't.
Finish this
And, right, and here we go. Right. You know, again, well over a decade and a half later, finds me through Facebook to say, and then she went into, and this is where the tears came. Today, she's a nurse. She's a wife. She's got 2 beautiful babies. And it just like completely was the person that I would look, and she had life stacked against her. She had every aspect of life that you could imagine. And we've all worked through there that had every aspect of life stacked against her. She had every reason not to be successful. And it's why she struggled so much. Heck, I would have, if I was in that world, probably would have struggled just as much at the middle school level. But I will tell you, like, she figured it out. And to me, it just gives me so much hope because she was one of the hardest kids that I worked with in a regular ed setting as a principal during those years. And fast forward years later, she's doing great. And to me, that just gives me so much hope because even those that sometimes we want to write off, we want to say, well, I'm just done with them. We don't want to listen to their stories. Yeah. It was just one I would always say, I'm never, ever going to give up on you. And she was able to quote it back 15 years later, which was pretty awesome. And I will tell you, Dave, just like you, I had some tears.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? That's why I love the Happy Show, because the stories that you guys share are they're real. Because let me tell you, I'm sure she kind of like the canas, the white hair, right? It's those kids that it's like, I don't know what else to do. But we keep on. And those are the kids, I promise you guys out there in the virtual world, those kids that are the most troubled kids, they want you. I mean, they don't want you to give up. They don't want you to give up. And every time you try, they keep on trying to kind of do more things. And you say, you know what? I'm not going to give up on you. I'm not. And they want to hear that. They really do. They want you to help them, but they just don't know how yet. And I'll say it with yet, because Tom and Dave and Laura and you all just shared those stories of all those kids that, you know what? They did great. Right? They did great way past, but it was your stories and what you said that really made it a difference. So awesome. I love these stories. Oh.
I don't know. There's a lot of onion and allergies, according to the people viewing the show. A lot of allergies out there. I don't know. But it's real quick. I asked, like always, a time to promote books and beautiful podcasts that I listen to a lot of the panelists. But I like to promote some books that I love. Superintendent Glenn Robbins, I Won't Back Down. Great book about the dark side of education. So if you are finding some obstacles, he connects that with musicians who were told, you stink. Well, you know what? Sometimes we're told you'll never be a principal. Ties it in. Calm before. This is the time for the Happy Show. So it's also the time for Superintendent Glenn Robbins. Calm in the chaos. It's about the stoics and leadership. I love this book. A real nice, calm read. It makes you reflect and not go cray-cray. Brand new teachers, alt-cert teacher Sean Kane, helping them how to teach. I love it. I am a Fundamental 5 campus. That brand new teachers, alt-cert, you need some help with discipline. Kevin Curtis tells you how to do it at the campus level, school level, district level. He shows you how to do it. Great. With discipline, with dignity. He does a great job. Jimmy Casas, some people might know that guy. He's like an up-and-coming guy. Brand new book right there. Was a past guest. And if you want 23 stories by 23 educators with yours truly writing the last chapter on this, check out Grow Your Why from Barbara Bray. Love the book. Love the stories. Chip, you got anything to tell the audience about books, podcast?
Yes, sir. So my podcast is Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles. It's on all platforms, YouTube channel. Continuing to put out books. I'm excited about the upcoming projects. I'm about to release a kids book series. Just the heart of education is what it's called. But just, those people that are, maybe not always get to shine, but just talk about them. So, teachers, custodians, bus drivers, coach. So just highlighting those people, as well as like I talked about earlier, the path for coaches. And that's not just sport coaches, that's mentor people, coaches. And so the first one we did was on mentoring, and the second one that we're dropping is going to be on emotional intelligence. So please go check it out and use it as a resource.
Thank you, my brother. Tom.
Well, today is Personal Authentic's 6th birthday, so I appreciate you having this birthday party for us today. I appreciate that. And I know that's the big surprise that was coming, Josh. I didn't mean to ruin that for you, I guess, right? But no, so that's my last book. I'm working on my next one currently. It is very different than things that I've seen out there, and I'm excited about that. And the time will come on that. That's all I'm going to say about that piece. But Personal Authentic is my last one, and my podcast is Leading Through Unprecedented Times. I'll have season 8 coming up with some probably state secretaries of ed, possibly some former U.S. secretaries of ed, as well as lots of school and district leaders around the nation. So super excited about that coming up probably in the next month or two.
Thank you for sharing. Big guest on that podcast by Tom Murray. Big guest. Laurita.
Yeah, my book. Got to put that in there. I had it next to me just in case. We talked about it. It's called The Improvement Game, and it gives educators tons of tools for essentially forming teams, norming teams, agility, so project management. How do we take a vision, or how do we make a vision, and how do we brainstorm in a meaningful way to actually launching the project, to having these really amazing review and retrospective sessions. And so there's tons of tools and prompts in it. All of them are free on my website, authenticlearningalliance.org. As of right now, I should plug my friends Chad and Sandy. They have a really great book called The AI Express. I got to help them with that a little bit, and so it just went out in September. We got it out the door, so check that one out. Really great for like AI implementation, especially if you're brand new or your school district needs, thinking about policy or how can we get professional development. So that one's a really good one. A friend of mine also just launched a book. Another friend, this is out of the UK, insert title here. He's a really innovative principal, and you just gotta, he's very cool, and check that out. That's new. And then podcast. This is like, I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's not out the door yet, but it is something that I'm working on. I'm hoping to launch in the next month or so a podcast called Moving Boulders, but Bold Hers. And I really want to talk to some, women in the field of education that are changing trajectories and like how they do it and some of the things they've been through. I'm kind of doing it as an ode to my mama, because she was in my mind, the OG change agent. And so she like really inspired me. I got my principal license. I'm in superintendent classes right now. I'm getting my doctorate. I'm going to graduate in June. And I just feel like, I think as women, there's a lot of men leaders, and I'm just saying like women can do it too. And I don't know. So it's kind of a call out for my mom and her journey, but like, how do we talk about that? And so that's coming up. So Moving Bold Hers, it's not out the door yet, but it is coming. So if you want to be on it, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing all that right there. I heard, Dave, you're an up and coming author. I think you might be writing your first book out there. So what would you like to tell the audience?
Yeah. So first of all, Ship That Podcast, Laura, sounds fantastic. I love the name, is very clever, and that work is super important. Reminds me, by the way, we have a book called She Leads, which is the guide to women in educational administration, right? And it's written by 3 amazing women leaders and has little highlights of different women leaders in there. So we need more women in leadership roles in education. And so can't wait to see the podcast, Laura. For me, I'm rebooting my podcast, The Dave Burgess Show. Just put 2 new episodes out. Have 2 more episodes dropping in the next 2 weeks. Committed to getting on that weekly schedule again. And so go check out the Dave Burgess Show podcast. If you haven't read Teach Like a Pirate, I'd be honored if you gave it a read. And tomorrow, we are releasing a brand new book. Dave Burgess Consulting Incorporated. Rich Chiz is releasing Autopilot, which is for educational leaders everywhere, about how to streamline your workflow, how to get through that email inbox, how to how to use AI, how to do all these different things to try to make your life easier so you can be more effective and efficient in your role as an educational leader. It is called Autopilot. Put your job on autopilot so you can do the important stuff of the school system. That's coming out tomorrow. You might even be able to find it on Amazon if you search it now, but don't tell anybody that. It's a secret.
I want to buy. I feel like I gotta buy it now. Like I'm sold.
All right. Yeah, Dave, you were slacking off on those podcasts, man. I stopped listening because you're behind on those podcasts, brother. All right.
Man, I was like struggling.
All right. Big shout out to Otis Kitchens from Florida, part of the Fantastic Four family. Thank you for being
Otis.
here. Otis gave some love to Chip Baker right now, and I think we have someone else. No, I think it was just Otis. All right, last 3 quick questions, guys. Last 3 quick questions, real quick. The purpose of the happy show is that we know those nerds are a little bit raw right now with 6'7". With 6'7", they're a little bit raw. They're raw because you let them find the button. And what are the kids going to do when they find the button? They're going to push the button. Push the button till you go cray-cray. And then they film you on their cell phones. Don't go cray-cray. Don't. Play with 6'7". Play with it. So here we go, real quick. Give one piece of advice, something, Chip, something to these educators right now that are feeling a little bit on the edge, a little bit raw, a little bit like, I can't put up with Josh anymore. He does that 6'7" again. I'm gonna throw my shoe at him. What can you tell?
Yeah, I call that, for me, the SHG principle, right? And for me, I think we have to do that inner reflection. So first, show up. When you show up, be present, be in the moments, right? Because your presence is the present. Ooh, hold on, Josh. Let me give him that again. Your presence is the present, right? So make sure that you show up. Then the next thing is you have to have a great attitude. And I believe that gratitude is the attitude that determines our altitude, right? And so we have to be grateful for what we have. It could be better, but guess what? It could be way worse, right? And then the next thing, the G, is just give your all. Whatever you have in the tank for that day in that moment, just give that. It could be 90%, could be 70%, could be 50%. Whatever you have in the tank, and please give that every moment of every day. And that's the SHG principle. Show up, have a great attitude, give your all.
Great remedy. Laura, future Doctora Laura. One remedy, one something for those team members that are a little bit on the edge.
Oh, okay. I've been saying this a lot lately, and you kind of said it too with the stoicism. Like, the obstacle is the way. It's the only way. We gotta face it. We gotta shake the rug. We gotta deal with it. So the obstacle is the way. Don't stop having fun. Like, you came here for a reason. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Work your love and you'll love your work. So
Tom, thank you, Laurita. Tom, one piece of advice to that coach that has 45 kids in his PE class and they don't want to suit out and they want to be on their cell phones. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, no, I will say, what you look for, what you focus on, you will find more of. So you walk into a classroom, you want to see great things, and you're looking for great things, you're going to see a lot of it. You walk into a faculty room, you want to see nonsense, you want to see negativity, you'll see a lot of it. Flip your lens. And so sometimes I believe, well, every day I believe, we've got to choose our lens, we've got to choose it wisely, but sometimes we've got to flip what we're looking for. And so with that, what you focus on, you will find more of. It doesn't mean that more or less exists, but your brain can only take so much in. And so you need to, if you're struggling with mindset, we got to shift something up, right? And we got to move something around. And so what you focus on, you will find more of.
Facts. Muchas gracias, Dave. You have this history teacher. He's ready for Spanish-American War and how we fought Spain, and everyone is asleep with their hoodies on. And he doesn't know what to do because he spent 3 hours on that with manipulatives and visuals.
Hey, so, you were mentioning like the 6'7" thing, all that kind of stuff like that. So our Buckminster Fuller has this quote that I love. He said, "Don't fight forces, use them." So rather than being upset with what kids are into right now, always think about like, how can I use that? Like what is it they're into? How can I use that in my classroom? How can I connect to that? And so that I'm going to leave it just with that. Our Buckminster Fuller, Don't fight forces, use them.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Katie, you're so right. What Katie says, Andrea, I love it. Exactly. Exactly. Stick, Moreno.
Awesome. Awesome. Second to the last question, you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and have Laura start us off with this one. Okay. Come on, Laura. We got this. We got this. Because the last question is super easy. So we got this one. This is second to the last question. I know we have a break coming up. We're in October, November, December is coming up. I want us just to think ahead a little bit, because I can tell you teachers right now and educators and everybody out there is not really thinking about spring break, right? Because they kind of see that as far off. But it's important for us to kind of put those things in place now so that we can have a successful end of the year, right? So let's look at fast forwarding to spring break for a second. What should educators do now to make sure that we have a good spring break and end of the year? Is there anything that you can maybe share or suggest to teachers out there that they can maybe do something during now, just to kind of, maybe it's a festival, maybe it's something kind of celebration for kids or something like that? Those are just suggestions, but whatever you have.
Like to get to that mindset, or to like
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm one of those people that definitely need, like, what's the next thing to like get excited for? And if I don't have it, like, I'm super bummed. Like what am I working so hard for if there's like nothing coming up? So I think that just that mindset of like, what brings you joy, and if you can, bring it today. Because I think too often we are waiting. Like that is a shift I'm trying to make in my own life. Like, why do I need to wait for that when I could make that right now? So like, what is it you're looking for? Define it. Okay. Say like, this is what I need in my life. This is self-care. This is the thing. And then give yourself permission to have it or engage. Maybe it's just going out with friends and turning work off, right? Like do that. Don't, and I'm guilty of it. So like I say this, like knowing like I'm so guilty of this, but like we just run ourselves ragged and we just keep running and we hold our breaths. Like we're going to get there. But I think you need to like almost kind of like flip the script on that. And it's like, what can I do right now to give myself that joy, that comfort, that thing that gives me some resolve in my soul, my heart, or whatever it is everyone's different and has their own things, but like, but yeah, I think bring it now, find it now, define it, and then go get it right now.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard for us to think that far ahead. And I think that's why I really want folks to hear from you guys, because we can probably provide some of those suggestions or strategies, or like you said, plan it now, define it now, so that you'll have that in the future, right? So that you'll have that spring break and beyond. Because just like Josh says, spring break and beyond, that's the hardest part. We're ending the year, right? But if we can do some things now to kind of prep for that, that would be awesome. All right. So thank you so much. How about Tom? How about you?
So one of the things I'm thinking about, so this every summer I do a lot of convocations. I think in August I did about 24 convocations this year. And the reason I share that is because when you walk in, there's beach balls going, there's music blasting, the cheerleaders are going, like it's just awesome, right? And then I walk in January and it doesn't really feel like that for some reason. I'm not really sure, right? And so I always talk to folks and district leaders about like, if we know things are coming that are going to be a struggle, what can we do to disrupt it, right? And so, Josh, you were talking about earlier this year, like this time of year, like every year in the winter, it's a very, very real thing, by the way, when folks struggle with things, like if we know that, we've got to get ahead of that. And so the resource that I'll share that really gets aligned with that is Dan Pink's book, When, and it's the science behind when things happen. So he talks about the importance of intros, right? Kicking off the year well. I always talk about like, what are we doing to bring kids back? Ending well, the importance of closure, right? But he also talks about the importance of midpoints and being a really very real thing. It's not just an education book. He uses some education examples, but he'll talk about things like midlife crisis, right? Like it could be a real thing. And so if we know the science behind it, we also can disrupt it. And so if we're anticipating, oh, this month is going to be challenging, and then we go through, oh, this month is terrible, oh, this month is challenging. Okay, well, then part of it's on us to say, we knew this was going to be a struggle, and we did nothing different. And so my challenge would be, if we know there's times during the year that are more of a challenge, and there absolutely are, what can leaders do? What can teachers do? Because, by the way, it's not just about us as adults. What can teachers do in the classroom to get ahead of it, to say, what can I do to make this the best week or best few weeks of the year, and not look at it? And again, choosing your lens and being really intentional on when. Great read, by the way.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Tom. And that's so important. If we know, then let's do something, right? Dave, you got it. You have some story. You have something for me. I know you do, because you're doing this.
No, that's just me going like, oh man, I haven't shaved this weekend. Okay. Yeah. So a couple things on this. First of all, I am always talking to teachers about building up mystery, curiosity, buzz, and anticipation. And so how can we get them excited? What are we doing today that makes them excited about coming tomorrow? What are you saying now that gets them pumped up about what's coming up in the second semester? And Teach Like a Pirate language, I call this preheating the grill. And I always tell people, I do not put steak down on cold grills. I preheat my grill. You drop your steak on a cold grill, nothing happens. You drop your steak on a preheated grill, what happens? It sizzles. I want my content to sizzle when I drop it. So I always preheat the grill, put enough mystery, curiosity, buzz, and anticipation. And so if you want kids to be excited about next week, if you want kids to be excited about next semester, what are you saying now to build up that anticipation? How are you tying into this idea of building up mystery, curiosity, buzz, and all that? And so using some of those ideas can be super, super important. And then the other thing I would say, which is on a completely different tack, is we spend, I think, too much time worrying about the possibilities of what's going to go wrong later in the year and the tough stretches later in the year. Janis Joplin said it this way. She said, you can destroy your now by worrying about tomorrow. And so be fully immersed in what you're doing today, this week, that period, even with your kids. And you know what? Spring might be tough. That's for spring. Right now is where your focus should be. So don't destroy your today by worrying about what's going to happen in April.
Awesome. Great advice. And before we go on to you, Chip, can you share that book again, Tom? Because I know, I think it's Melissa or somebody is asking the name of that book.
Yeah, the book is When by Dan Pink.
When, W-H-E-N?
Correct.
By Dan?
Like the time of it. Yeah, we often focus on the what, the why, the how, but it's the importance of when, the science behind when things happen.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much. All right, Chip, close us out, sir. Let's close us out with the second to the last question.
All right. So for me, I believe consistency counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, I trust and believe in people that I know what I'm gonna get from them, right? And so for me, consistency counts. And so I think you take one day at a time, right? Find ways to be poured into, find ways to pour into others, all right? Be teacher of the year today, right? Be administrator of the year today, right? Whatever that day is, you be the greatest you can be at that. Like right now, I don't know if I'm gonna be here tomorrow, but today I'm giving you everything I got today, right? And then I think you get rest and repeat. And so, I think when you can work that process, work that cycle, man, every day is a great day. Every day is a productive day. You influence and you impact others every day when you do that.
Awesome. Great advice. Thank you so much again for sharing.
And you know what, guys? Right now, let's be proactive. Well, not just right now, but throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
Every morning when I'm at work at Buzz Duty, I send a handful of texts to people that have been on the show. I send a handful. I go, hey, have a great day, whatever that thought is, just to let you know, hey, start of the day, start with a positive mindset. Same thing with your kids. Pre-grill. What was the day? Pre-grill?
Reheat the grill.
Reheat the grill. Right there. Just the way that you start off the day with a positive mindset and you just keep on pushing that, it becomes a whole ripple effect throughout your whole day. And you don't have to have that lead blanket on your chest to where you don't want to get up from the couch when you get home.
Mm-hmm.
So, Laura, very simple. Last question. Very simple. It's a fill in the blank. Hey, educator, this Christmas break, I want you to.
Do you, boo?
Oh,
Chip Baker, hey, educator, during this Christmas break, I want you to.
Unplug and go get it.
Go get it.
Dave Burgess, hey, educator, during this Christmas break, I want you to.
Nothing better than buying a great educational read. Put underneath, fill everybody's presents with books.
Tom
Teachers
Murray.
love books. Buy them books.
Tom Murray. I love
Someone
it.
had to say it.
Tom Murray, hey, educator, this Christmas holiday season, I want you to.
Love your people hard. All the people that have been getting the least of you on certain days, give the most of you.
Love it. Exactly. And it's that time to close off the show, guys. Get the last comments in there with the Échale Ganas lightning round. Panel, it's a lightning round. It's not a dissertation. You're not going to spend 7 hours on each question. It's only question number 2. It's a lightning round. Real quick, muy rápido. And it's the PGP podcast, Laura. G is for ganas, ganas. Ganas is a spiritual word, Tom, for all Hispanics. That's the only thing that makes us global, whether it be Bolivia, Argentina, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Mexico, all of us. We use that one word in the same context as a generational, inspirational word that motivates one grandma to yell at her grandchild, "Échale ganas, mija." Or that cheerleading mom, "Échale ganas, mija." We use that word. And right now, when I ask you these quick questions, I want ganas from you. So, Laurita, here we go. Remember, if I start looking at you like, hurry up, I'll get closer, like you're taking too long. So here we go. Ready? Let me scroll down. Here we go. Laurita, give advice to a first-year assistant principal.
Maps. Mainly listen, acknowledge, and then plan for success.
Read a note, an email, a text from a teacher or student who inspired you as an educator.
I got this from a client that I love working with, or nonprofit organization. It is Difference Maker. I was given that. That touched my heart.
Love it. Send some flowers to an active educator who inspires you in your work.
Can I give a whole bunch out?
One.
One. Okay, then I have to give it to my husband or he'll kill me. He is a principal and their school district is trying to get a bond passed. And so he is tired and so he gets flowers.
I feel you. Name one person that people should follow on social media.
So many. Sussex Chat, at Sussex Chat, at Gadget Bum, at Stewart's _version, at Agile Schools, at Nobo Middles, at De La Toretics. CS. Those are
all right.
That's
Tis the season. Laura, tis the season. Who's the best evil character? Freddy, Jason, or Michael Myers?
Obviously Michael Myers. If Rob Zombie makes a movie and recreates it, it's a classic.
What has been the craziest costume you've worn at school?
God, this was hard, but I'm going to go with Agent Scully because I was going through an X-Files phase.
March Madness or Super Bowl?
Gosh, March Madness because my daughter's really into it and she's a big Caitlin Clark fan. Go Iowa, represent. Let's go.
Who played their character the best? Stallone as Rocky, Keanu Reeves as John Wick, or Arnold as the Terminator?
I think I'm always going to be an Arnie girl. I just love him.
How can people get a hold of you?
At Mrs. Williams 21C on like any of the socials. And then my email, Mrs. Williams 21C at Gmail. So
love it. Dave Burgess, give advice to a first-year assistant principal.
Get out there and be seen. Get out of your office.
Read a note, an email, a text from a teacher, student who inspired you as an educator.
Did that one already? I'll just read you the key line. I lived the exact life I wanted because you said I could.
Love it. Send some flowers to an active educator who inspires you in your work.
Tisha Richmond, Medford, Oregon, culinary arts teacher who went back into the classroom from the district office and from consulting and does incredible stuff with gamification.
Name one person in the audience you should follow on social media.
Nick Roque, ANNICK, and that's RAUCH, author of Phenomenal Teacher, also going through a cancer battle right now and showing a lot of courage.
Thank you for sharing that. Who's the best evil character? Freddy, Jason, or Michael Myers?
I got to go right with that Michael Myers as well.
What has been the craziest? Oh my God, this question for you. What has been the craziest costume you've worn at school?
Only 10,000 to choose from. I'm going to go with the Red Scare, a supervillain that teaches U.S. history teachers the fear of communism. The Red Scare.
Okay, I gotta ask. Well, what did you do?
So it's got like bright red, kind of like troll hair, and it's got a communist, a hammer and sickle kind of shirt, red tights, a cape, a red cape, the whole thing. And let me just tell you something: everything is better with capes and tights. Capes and tights.
All right, March Madness or the Super Bowl?
March Madness 100 times over.
Who played the best character? Stallone as Rocky, Keanu Reeves as John Wick, or Arnold as the Terminator?
I'm going to go with Stallone because he created that whole role. Like, that's so cool that he was the creator of it too.
How can people get a hold of you, senor?
At Burgess Dave on X, at DBC_INC on Instagram, DaveBurgess.com, DaveBurgessConsulting.com. Let's go.
Tom Murray, before they kick you out from the airport, give advice to a first-year assistant principal.
Lead hard, live it all on the field, but love your people harder.
Read a note, an email, a text from a teacher or student who inspired you as an educator.
I did that one already. I'll pass.
Send some flowers to an active educator who inspires you.
I'm going to go with Trevor Fick, who is my son's 5th grade teacher because he focused on mindset and changed my kid's life.
Name one person the audience should follow on social media.
My boy Inky Johnson wrote the foreword of my book, an incredible person.
Who is the best evil character, Freddy, Jason, or Michael Myers?
Freddie scared me to death when I was growing up.
What has been the craziest costume you've worn at school?
God, I hate saying this. I'm a diehard New York Giants fan. It was a rough day today. I had to wear an Eagles jersey because I lost a bet and I had to wash my principal's car. Next. Let's keep moving.
March Madness or the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, 100%.
Who plays best their character, Rocky, John Wick, or the Terminator?
I'm going John Wick.
How can people get a hold of you?
Just Google it, people. You can find it. It's 2025. No, I'm just kidding. ThomasCMurray.com. It's all linked off there.
And Chip Baker, here we go. Give advice to a first-year assistant principal.
Keep pushing.
Read a note, an email, a text from a teacher or student who inspires you.
Oh man, got a message from a student today, former student I coached and taught 15 years ago, asking about tips. He's a performer on how to be better on the stage. So had a good 30-minute conversation with him today.
Send some flowers to an active educator who inspires you.
The people on this interview, blessed to be here, man.
Name one person in the audience you follow on social media.
Darius Bradley, my guy. He's been in several of my books. A powerful speaker, amazing background. He's a Hurricane Katrina guy. Has some issues, been through some things, but uses it to pour into others.
Who is the most evil character, Freddy, Jason, or Michael Myers?
I'm gonna go with Freddy.
What has been the craziest costume you've worn, sir?
I'm not much of a costume guy, but I have. I'm just me, right? But I have done this to encourage a kid to dress out in PE, bro. It's the easiest class. You just put your shorts on. So I showed up in dress shirt, shorts, dress shoes, and he got a kick out of it. He started dressing out from then on.
March Madness or Super Bowl?
Super Bowl.
Who played their character the best? Stallone as Rocky, Keanu Reeves as John Wick, Arnold as the Terminator.
Rocky.
How can people get a hold of you, senor?
All of my social media is at Chip Baker TSC, as in The Success Chronicles, except for X. It's Chip Baker 19.
Thank you, panel. Thank you very much for being here and inspiring. I know you inspired people out there because remember, educators, we're not alone. The good thing about this thing is that we're universally connected with educators in Hawaii, in Australia, and New Zealand. It doesn't matter because we're all in the same business. We're in the kid business, and we are builders. We're creating nations, and we're inspiring not only educators, but the future of America, our future children. And these guests today, like all the other 77 shows, have inspired you and showed you how to how to do it and how to be successful, because you are not alone. We are great together, making sure that we learn from each other, because this profession right here, it's not hard, but we just gotta, I remember doing that, and we listen to each other. We scroll through our social media. I like that. I love stealing from people and I make it my own. we make our own special little recipe with guests like this. So, panel, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. And join us next week for Dr. Seuss in the Schoolhouse, educators that have written children's book. Join us next week. We're all in it together. We care about you. We love you. And remember, you're not alone. You choose to be alone, but you're not alone. Reach out to all these beautiful platforms, and we will be there for you. Say good night, panel.
Bye, everybody.
I can't believe Tom hasn't missed his flight.
No, I